How's it going, folks? Welcome to video number 6. Yes, 6. You're doing amazing, I'm sure. I hope you're learning a ton. And today we are going to talk about one of my most favorite things, the most important thing. First of all, what have we done so far? So we've figured out that you need a show, right? That you have to have a show. We've chose our audience, who we're going to talk to, why we're going to talk to them, that kind of thing. We've talked about our format, our medium, and we've talked about our network, where's it going to live, and now we are on the most important thing. What do you think it is? I'm going to tell you. But you know what? It really is this thing. Everybody thinks that is the, I get these questions, right? What about my camera? What about my software? Is it editing? Does it have to look perfect? Do I need this software or whatever? Everybody thinks that it's all these different things, but there really is only one most important thing. Are you ready? Are you sure? It's simple, okay? Without this thing, you will fail. It's content. Content is the number one undeniable, most amazing thing that you have to have. And when I say content, I'm not talking about just minutes on a screen or video after video after video of inaccurate, incomplete, worthless information. I'm not talking about content is not turning on your camera, click, blah, 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 blah. There's tons of that out there. That's not content, right? Your useless information is not content. You have to have great, amazing, just succulent content, right? You gotta have, again, audience, right? What does your audience want? What does your audience need? What are they going to come back for and back for and back for and back for? Again, thinking back to your TV shows, thinking about anything that you consume on a regular basis, your favorite radio show, your favorite TV show, whatever it is that you spend your time listening to, watching, or whatever, it's because you, as their audience, enjoy their content. So, today's video, today's learning is everything about content, right? So, again, how do I create great content? What is great content? Well, let's look at some of that, okay? Now, great content, okay, I'm going to make some notes for you here. Great content can be a bunch of different things. So first, when people think of great content, obviously, the first thing that comes up is, or the biggest thing, is you talking about, and you're going to have to forgive my typing skills, you talking about things your audience cares about, right? Cares about. Now, what do they care about? Again, you're going to hear me talk in every single video. I'm going to use the word audience. You've heard me use it in every single video we've talked about so far. Your audience is your show, right? What are the things, you talking about the things that your audience cares about is a big, big deal. Now, when I say that, you have knowledge, right? You have knowledge. You have, if you're a realtor, you have knowledge about real estate that people need to know about. If you're a lender, you have knowledge that people need to know about. If you're a title person, you have knowledge people need to know about, right? You do. You have knowledge, you have value, right? And you need to bring that value and that knowledge to people. Okay, to the clients, to your customers, to the people that are watching your show, right? There is a reason that HGTV has basically become a real estate network, right? There are shows all across the country that are specific to their area real estate market and lending. There's a reason that every single market out there has a lending radio show on the weekends and stuff like that. You have knowledge and you have value that, guess what? I talked about this in the first video. You have to have the mindset, if you have something that other people want, you have a responsibility to give it to them. It's just the way it is. Now, a lot of people start out and they go, well, yes, I want to talk about, I want to talk, but guess what? I don't know how to talk. even though we all know how to talk, but I don't know how to talk in front of people. I don't know how to talk in videos. Is there a way for me to get great content without me starting out with me being on camera or me being on the microphone or whatever it may be? Absolutely. One of the other places of great content or types of great content is someone else talking. If you're not the best talker in the world, if you're not the best explainer in the world, great. Go out and find someone that is. Okay, we can do a video together. I'll talk for you. Okay, I do it all the time, right? This is interviewing skills, right? That kind of stuff, which we'll get into in another video in depth. But you can absolutely make a great show that is nothing except for someone else talking. There are nothing. Think about daytime TV, right? These people that have these talk shows, right, are nothing but great interviewers. That's their skill, right? They get paid lots of money. They have lots of a big audience, lots of clients, lots of customers. Advertisers are paying them like crazy just to let someone else talk about what that other person is good at or what knowledge that other person has, right? Great. Letting someone else talk can be debates. This is one of my favorites. I love debates, okay? Anytime I can disagree with someone in a positive way, right? But that both sides of the coin. I get into these conversations about real estate and where real estate is going and the type of investments and all these different kinds of things. Debates can be amazing content if you get 2 people, 3 people, 4 people that have a lot of knowledge, especially if they have conflicting views. And look, something like marketing and real estate, for example, can be an amazing debate topic, or how to sell a home quicker, or different types of investing in real estate. These can all be amazing, amazing content. Obviously, guests, you know what I mean, on any particular show. We always talk about, and you'll see this in the Facebook group, right, is if I can't be an expert on everything. Nobody can, right? And if you're not an expert on something, don't pretend to be, right? I tell this all the time. I'm not I know a lot about lending, but I am not a lender. I am not a loan officer. I'm not an expert in lending. And guess what? You got to have partners that are experts in what they do. You are here because of the marketing expertise that I have, and that's what you want to know. So if you don't have the information, if you have a client asking you about something, just say, look, I don't know, but guess what? Here's the number for someone that does, or let me bring that person to the listing appointment, or let me bring that person to our appointment. Let's have lunch together with this person. And guess what? They're going to ask questions that you have that you want to know as well. And you learn, right? Or if you don't want to learn, then let them do it all the time. It doesn't matter, right? Guests are great content because it creates a discussion. It's not just a one-sided thing, okay? A lot of the shows that I've done in the past, videos and done in the past, one of my favorite things is to have a partner, a guest speaker, right? Radio hosts all the time. They typically, your big radio shows are typically more than one person. Even if the name of the show is about that person, it's typically more than one person, right? Think about the huge sports shows, Dan Patrick Show. I think there's 4 different guys on that, right? The Howard Stern Show always has 2 other people and guests and stuff like that. It's a way to have a conversation that's not just one way, right? And then, of course, interviews, right? You interview a particular person. We're going to do a lot of interviews on some of my bonus stuff. I'm going to do, when we get into lead generation specifically, I'm going to do some videos for y'all from the 101 ways to lead generate. I got a bunch of my friends all across the country that are experts in a particular way of lead generating. I'm going to do some interviews for y'all and post them for y'all and that kind of thing, so that you can learn from some of the experts that do expert things, right? I got a particular guy that his entire business model for real estate and lead generating is built around open houses. And all you got to do is let him go. I've sat and he's taught a class for years. It takes him a couple of hours to do a class on open houses because his process is that in depth. So I could let him talk forever, right? Again, you don't always have the answers. Bring in an expert, right? Someone else is talking. That's a great one. What's up next? Good content. Video clips. Okay, I love video clips. Using someone else's video clips, using your own video clips, whatever. This is great content. I told you before in a previous video, I have another kind of passion project, side project of mine, where I do movie reviews, right? Trailer reviews, pretty much any content that I want to. It's called the Big Man Movie Podcast, right? When I do trailer reviews or movie review or any of this kind of stuff, I take the video and I put it in I take the clip of the video, right, the trailer, and I watch the trailer in the video. So I've got a video inside the video. I'll show you how to do that from a technical standpoint, but using video clips, we've all seen shows like Tosh.0, and there's a billion of them, that the entire show is nothing but them watching video clips that other people have posted and then giving their opinion on that, right? This is essentially every news show you've ever watched. This is the entire ESPN network, right? Is nothing but a panel of people watching videos. My wife will not watch ESPN unless it is like every week, especially during the summer, they have like the top 10 baseball, whatever you call it, spots every week where, you know, it's a great catch or a great slide or a great out or a double play or a triple play or whatever it is. My wife will watch that all day long. It's what people want to consume, right? So you having a video clip of someone else, this is a great way to have your opinions or a debate without another side, is showing a video of something that you may or may not agree with, or you have a different take on. You show the video clip and then people know exactly what it is you're debating at the moment, right? Your information is going to be about, right? That's a great one. I love video clips, one of my biggest things. Now, of course, great content can also be education. All right. Now, I'm a big educator. I am a lifetime learner. I learn new things every single day, right? You should be a lifetime learner, right? Something is changing in our business, the way we market every single day. Education. It's why you're here, right? So educate your audience. I could make the argument that this should be part of your thought process in every single video. What does your video accomplish? How does it educate your audience? How does it make them better? Even if the education part is just about how you educate them to use your services better, right? We talk about this in real estate all the time. You don't know what you don't know. And if you're a first-time home buyer, or even if you've done real estate transactions before, but it's been a decade since the last time you bought or sold a home, the process has changed. Or maybe they just didn't get great service last time and they're not familiar with the way it actually should be. Everything we do should be about educating someone, even if it is about educating them on how to use services better, right? I consider this a personal responsibility. Our job is to educate everyone around us to make them better. It's just something I believe in. Another great place for content is articles, right? In the news, anything real estate related, anything home related, there are articles after articles after articles after articles, information printed daily or put out there on the internet daily, that you just have to pick the ones that make you passionate, right? Pick the ones that apply to your audience and then expand on them. I get into articles, sometimes I'll find an article that is printed, especially in today's world of shooting from the hip articles, that's got misspelled words and all kinds of different things like that. Not that I'm perfect. Believe me, I will put out something that's misspelled, figure it out 2 weeks later and have to fix it. I am the world's worst about spelling, right? I used to say all the time that when I was a teacher, they say, do you count off for spelling? Well, I have no respect for anybody that spells a word the same time every time. It shows no imagination, right? Now, look, it's not about that. What it is about articles is I find an article all the time that is flat out either misleading people or it doesn't give them all of the information, and it's all for a purpose. Maybe that particular article is selling a product, so they wanted to create a situation, but it drives me insane. Articles on this happens all the time with Zillow or particular brokerages or, this kind of stuff. They, some of these brokerages that are coming out, about the, we'll buy your house, these quick close, Zillow's product or Nextdoor's product or whatever. A lot of those articles, and I'm not bashing anybody's company model, I'm just saying a lot of the articles are 100% misleading, right? When they say, well, sell the home to us and save on realtor fees. Well, that is true, but your average Nextdoor type company or any of those that are buying these products, they're typically on average paying the home seller less than 90% of the value, and typically their fees are much higher than a realtor would charge them anyway. So they're being accurate and honest in saying that they don't charge, they'll save you on realtor fees, but what they're not saying is that their fees are more expensive in a lot of cases, right? They're written that way on purpose because they know that the keyword being save on realtor fees is what people want to hear. So again, take an article apart and giving your viewpoint on it and giving your opinions on it and that kind of stuff can be a great way to create great content, right? That debate, again, when you have a different perspective or a different point of view, or that you're pointing out something that someone else may not have thought of or known, that's great content, especially if you cater it to your audience. Here in Austin, we have a newspaper that is very, I'm sure it's in other places or they have similar products. Ours is called the Community Impact. It separates even Austin out into geographic areas, Northwest Austin, Cedar Park, Leander. It's got a paper specific to it. So it really does a good job of getting hyper local information, right? They'll have articles like the top 10 things to look out for in Cedar Park in 2019, or restaurants that are opening up in Cedar Park and that kind of stuff. So it's a great source if I'm doing hyper local marketing, which I enjoy, right? If I'm doing a video specifically about Cedar Park, Texas, which is where most of my business comes from, right? If I'm doing a hyper local article or a video, it's a great place for me to automatically find great content. What are the new restaurants that are opening up? You gotta find where you can locate great information, again, about your audience, about your demographic, about your area, that kind of thing, and finding that local paper. There are several neighborhoods that will have their own neighborhood newsletter or newspaper. That can be a great place to find articles to talk about and that kind of stuff. Again, think about your audience. Your audience can be big, it can be small, it can be hyper local. Again, we talked about this, that the marketing that applies to everybody applies to no one, right? Who is your audience? What do they care about, right? Your opinion on those articles. Social media interaction can be another place for great content. I have a friend of mine that when he does a daily, he does a couple of different shows. So he has a radio show, he has a podcast that he does several things Monday through Friday. He has 3 different shows a day. So obviously content is a premium for him, right? How does he create content for 3 shows a day, 5 days a week, right? This is a problem for your blog or your daily bloggers or your daily vloggers, right? Using video. This kind of stuff, it can be difficult to create content, especially different types of content every day, right? If you're trying to do the daily, right? And we'll get into the best time to do videos and that kind of stuff, but it can be difficult, right? This goes back to what we were talking about before when I said sometimes you instead of thinking about what your audience wants, just ask them. Social media content can be a great source for that. One of the things my buddy does is when he needs content or when he needs particular types of content, he'll go out to his social media, Facebook, whatever, and he'll ask his friends, his family, right, the people that follow him, he'll just flat out ask a question. There's a YouTuber by the name of Philip DeFranco that literally for years, his news, quote unquote, news content that he created in a day was reaching out to his followers and essentially saying, hey, what do you think I should talk about today? What do you think the top news articles today? Or what information do you want more information on? He literally just asked his audience on a daily basis, what do you want me to talk about today? And he did that for years and has become one of the largest as far as following YouTubers out there, especially on the news side of content, right? Is because he's just asked his audience on a daily basis what he wants. Social media in today's world obviously can be a great way to, in a very short period of time, reach out to your audience and say, hey, I'm going to do a show today on A, B, and C. What are your suggestions? What are questions you have about this particular subject? That kind of thing. It can be a great way to create great content that you don't have to curate and make and that kind of thing, right? Another source of great content, people love games, right? Games, giveaways, right? Anything, obviously you got to abide by all your state laws and federal laws, you know, in real estate and lending and this kind of stuff, but they can be a great way to create great content, right? And games, look, there's an entire network built just around games. They're constantly trying to create new game shows for television and this kind of stuff. It makes it's great entertainment, right? And one of the other things about games and giveaways and stuff like that is you're creating interaction with your audience, right? It's interactive marketing, and that's what you really want. One of the other great things about like games, for example, when it comes to your show, is, for example, quizzes, right? We've all taken those dumb quizzes on Facebook or any other type of social media where it's like, you know, which Hobbit would you be from Lord of the Rings, or which, you know what I mean, this would you be, which character would you be from your favorite TV show, or, you know, whatever those quizzes are. And all of those quizzes are just, they're data collection, right? They're getting people to register so that they'll know, right? They take a quiz that are 5 or 6, 10 questions, and then put your email address in, and we'll send you the person that you are, right? Or whatever. They're all just ways to create great content that makes it interactive and ways that you can get information, right? Again, for you to lead generate or lead capture or whatever it is you're doing, right? Again, all of this is creating an amazing content, an amazing product that your audience, your clients want to come back to. Again, in the one of our previous videos, we talked about how half of the people out there will stop what they're doing to watch the next video, listen to the next podcast, consume your product if they think it has value. And that value comes from the most important thing, which is great content, right? Can be, I've seen lists like this. Games can also be lists of information like, what are the top 10 things. You'll never guess the 10th of the top 10 things or the number one thing of the top 10 things to get your home ready to sell, right? I used to make these short little videos. There's a CRM out there that allows you to make short, very easy videos, and we'll get into lead capture and websites in another video. But there's a CRM out there that you could just put in 3 MLS numbers and it would automatically make a video, and you would name the video like top 3 most expensive homes in Austin, Texas, right? And it would create the video for you. It would just put whatever you put as number 3. It would show a picture or a couple of pictures and be like number 3 and then number 2, and then it would, you know, come up with this: to see number 1, register below. Again, it's just a list. It's a giveaway or register, whatever, right? And it creates great content. People love lists, right? Top 10 most expensive homes in Cedar Park. Top 10 least expensive homes in Cedar Park. Top 5 ugliest homes. Look, there's entire shows that are nothing but what's the rehab show. I know Property Brothers has a ton of spinoffs at this point, but essentially here's an ugly home and now we've made it beautiful, right? Renovation shows. Up in Waco, The Couple have been doing nothing but that for years now, right? Again, this is all great content, right? Why is it all, or content. All right, excuse my words. But anyway, so great content, right? We need great content to have a great show. It has to have value. Content can be anything, right? Anything. Where'd my cursor go? Content is anything, right? Your audience sees value in. Okay, anything your audience sees value in, okay, or is relevant to your audience, okay? That's all content is. You have to have great content. Now, these are just some suggestions. Your show, your videos can be anything you want it to be, right? It can be all of these things. That's one of the things I love about a show and ongoing video and stuff like that is your show, you will find your path, right? You will find what's comfortable for you, right? Whether it's again, you think of your talk shows and stuff like that where they interview guests and it's the same show, right? The Jimmy Kimmel Show is the same show day in and day out. He starts with a funny intro, right? He typically has a music guest, then he interviews a couple of people, right? They do some game together or whatever, and it's repeat, right? The show itself is just repeated over and over because they found their groove. They know what people expect of them and they know their audience and they found their groove. Yours will be the same way. You may go through and decide that in the beginning you're going to interview a person and you're going to talk about articles and you're going to try to educate your people, and then somewhere along the line you go, well, you know what, I want to add video clips, or I want to take away articles and add more guest panels and more interviews or whatever. You'll learn as you go, and it's okay to learn how your show morphs and grows and that kind of stuff. Again, that's why I'm doing this education in this way, so that I can update it as we go, right? That is the benefit of being here monthly, is you're going to skip out if you leave this month, if you leave the group this month or any of that kind of stuff, which I know is crazy to think about leaving any kind of educational environment. Never do it, but you're going to miss out on the next update. You're going to miss out on the next thing. That's why the private Facebook group is so important, is it creates that conversation. Use content and conversations from the private Facebook group to help you create content in the beginning, right? I'm going to also put a link down below. It'll be in your toolbox as well. I'm going to make a list, and it's going to be an ever-growing list. Again, I want y'all's interaction. It's going to be an ever-growing list on content suggestions, right? There's videos that every real estate agent out there should have, right? Whether it's, first-time home buyers, or how to get your home ready, or, neighborhood videos, or whatever. I'm going to want an ever-growing list of things that y'all can refer back to. And then, oh, by the way, y'all need to share these links together so that you can see what other people, like-minded people in our group, are doing as far as videos, okay? There's nobody that's going to be a part of this group. I believe in share and share alike, meaning that there's nobody that should be in this group that cares if you go out there and you see that Joe Bob has made a video, a great video that taught you something great, that you like it, right? That, this great new lending product, for example, that may help a bunch of your clients, that you go out and use that information and create your own video about about that particular lending product, right? Nobody's going to care about that. There is plenty of business to go around. So use the private Facebook group. We're going to put that list as part of the toolbox, right? That you can use to come back and go, oh, okay, I need a video for this week or today or whatever your regular basis is, right? And go, guess what? Here's a great suggestion, okay? So use this list, that kind of thing. What's next on the thing here? Here, let me get back to my video. There it is. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. I try to do better with the Microsoft Word stuff, and I'll actually teach all these software in an upcoming video, right? That kind of thing. But we talked about content. We talked about that. Again, we talked about content can be anything that's relevant. It is the most important thing. Here's what I want you to realize, okay? The video you're watching right now, okay, I'm recording this video in true 1080i, right, HD, which you can see my beautiful face and skin, right? Anyway, here's the point. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if this is HD. It doesn't matter whether it's poor quality. We now live in a world of YouTube, right? That people actually expect, in some cases, for it to be crappy video, right? Or if it's pixelated, or if the sound messes up. You've heard me several times misspeak on words and stuff like that. I'm not going to go back and edit that out. It is what it is. People expect a certain amount in today's world of YouTube, a certain amount of authenticity, right? That we actually, there's been a couple of different studies, marketing studies done that say that people that see things that are over refined and over edited, they actually see them as less truthful, right? Or less accurate. What are you editing out? What are you hiding? What did you say when you edited this out, right? No, you just need to be real, right? You need to be real, and when you're creating content, let people see your mistakes. I'm going to make 1 billion of them. According to my wife, I made 5 of them before I woke up this morning, right? So great content is also about you being real, right? And remember, one of the age-old golden rules is facts tell and stories sell, right? When I go around and I teach the 101 ways to lead generate in real estate all over the country, it's not, it never is, in all of these, the couple of years I've been doing that seminar, it never is the specific lead that people remember. The whole seminar really is about the stories that are attached to the 101 ways to lead generate, right? Again, nobody should be doing 101 ways. They should be doing 3 or 4. But it's the stories that I tell about how that particular way of lead generating applied to a particular person. So for example, the last one, the 101st way to lead generate in real estate is rattlesnake removal. Now, that sounds like a crazy way to lead generate in real estate, but a buddy of mine created an entire very successful and very lucrative real estate business by being one of the few rattlesnake removal people in California, and then when he moved to Austin, Texas, right? The guy removes rattlesnakes, but where do you think people live, and how big do you think their places are if they have issues with rattlesnakes? He's worked with some of the most successful, well-known people in Austin, because these are the people with these huge ranches and stuff like that that need rattlesnake removal. Right? It was a way for him to provide a service and get in the door, right? That's a great story, okay? Now, I tell it a little better and expand a little bit more during the seminar, but think about that. Rattlesnake removal is not something that I would have ever thought should be on a list of how realtors or lenders or anybody else should lead generate, but it worked out great for him. So facts tell and stories sell, folks. Have a great story when you're having a video, and that's going to turn into great content for you, right? If the content is great, the quality can almost be irrelevant. There's another mentor of mine, a great guy. He was telling me actually not too long ago, about a week ago, he was saying that he paid an absorbent amount for this online course that he was taking, and by the time he got to the 4th or 5th video, he finally realized that he almost couldn't see. The video was so bad from course to course. The information was amazing, but the video itself was so bad that he realized his wife came across, and she said, "How can you see that guy?" And he realized that he almost couldn't. It was so dark, the video was so dark, that he almost couldn't see the guy's face that was actually talking. He was 4 or 5 videos in, right? It's almost irrelevant from a quality standpoint if the video, the content of the information is great. I got another buddy of mine, his name is Joey McGurr. He's an amazing marketer. He's great. His niche is like hotels marketing, and he's done social media marketing and stuff like this for years. And I'll never forget, years ago, he used to teach, or not teach, but he had these networking events, right? Great networker. He actually teaches a class on networking specifically, but great networker. But he used to talk about video again when we were talking about how video was coming. And he said people would always come in with all these issues. Well, I can't record because I don't have the right camera, or I don't have the right backdrop, or I don't have the right equipment, or whatever. He's like, "You're nuts." He was the first person that I really thought that was incredibly passionate about this. He's like, everyone carries around a phone. This phone has a better camera than most cameras out there that you're going to buy that are hundreds of dollars. It has a microphone built in. It has everything you need. So there's zero excuses not to incorporate video into your business, right? And I'll never forget, he was just so passionate about it. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I was one of those people that was hesitant about video back in the day because I thought I want that guy, right? I want things to be perfect. I want things... No, the imperfection is what can make it great content. Think about the things you consume and how you consume them, and you'll get to this content mindset. What did this show give me? How did it give it to me? And is it something that I can create, right? It's the first most important thing is your content. Make a list of ideas, right? Say, okay, here's what I want my first 5 videos to be, or I think they should be. Run it by people that you trust, right? Get feedback from friends and family, people that care about you, right? They're more likely to give you positive feedback, and you kind of need that in the beginning, right? What do you think? People are going to have different perspectives on that content. Make sure that you're talking to your audience, right? Make sure that whether it's on social media, whether it's through videos, whether it's through comments, whether it's through the private Facebook group, make sure that you're communicating. Look, I've told you this before in these videos. I am not like most people. I don't think like most people. And knowing that, I know that I have to get feedback constantly from people that I trust and care about, because they make sure that I stay on track, that they make sure you as my audience, you taking this class, being a part of, that's why I created the private Facebook group, is because I need your interaction. I need you to know that as we go through this, to ask those questions you need answers to come across that situation that maybe I didn't think about that you need help with, that we need to add to this course and make it better. Your interaction in this class, in this course, in this show is imperative. So when you create your show, you need that feedback just as much as anything else. Now, secrets to great content. Know what you're talking about. We talked about this in a previous video. I can teach you about how to have a show. I can teach you how to create your show, that kind of stuff. But this particular class, I can do another one if you like. This particular class does not make you a great realtor. You've got to know what you're talking about. It doesn't make you a great lender. You got to know what you're talking about. Credibility is key to your audience. If you are not credible, if you're not confident, if you don't know what you're talking about, people are going to see through it. It's just the way it is, folks. It's why when you meet someone, your subconscious makes decisions about this person, right? I can do a whole class on networking and people that you meet at networking and how to identify people that can help you and people that can't. This is a skill set you got to learn, but credibility is key to great content because it's how it's delivered, right? It can be hard to gain and easy to lose. We all know that about your word, right? It's why I wear shirts that say Big Man in Real Estate on it. This is not just a brand to me. This is my name, right? It took me a long time to continue to grow my team larger and larger because I'm extremely protective of my name, my brand. I can't. If and when you lose someone's trust, it is difficult to get back, right? So you have to protect it, right? You have to protect it. One of the things I tell my clients all the time, and I tell this to other realtors to tell their clients, right, is I prepare my clients for the absolute worst so that if it happens, they're still happy. We have a tendency in the real estate industry to avoid what we consider negative conversations, which is worst case scenario. What if this doesn't happen? What if it takes too long? What if the price doesn't work? Whatever all these things are, they're not negative conversations. You control the conversation. In this show, you control the conversation. So prepare people for the absolute worst. And then if it does happen, they are still happy. Your client, your show should never come back to you and go, well, Robert, you didn't tell me. No, come on, right? Credibility can come from several different places. It can obviously come from experience, things that you've done yourself, right? That's easy. You can learn it from other ones. That's what you're doing now, right? I guarantee you by the time you finish this class, I guarantee you by the time you get to this point in this video, you know more about your show, you know more about creating a show than 99% of the people you come out there, especially 99% of other people in real estate, lending, and title. I guarantee you that already, and you're only halfway through, right? Now, I say that you can get credibility from learning from certain people, but now I'll tell you, be careful who you're listening to. There's a lot of bad information out there, so you got to make sure the information you're getting comes from a great source. You can get it from reading, right? Now, I'm a painfully slow reader. My wife is actually a super fast reader. She actually took a college course on speed reading, which is insanity to me. I can't actually read a book next to her because I'm sitting there and I'm reading halfway down and she's like, flip. And then I keep reading and I'm not still on the first page and she's like, flip. And then I keep reading and I'm still on page 1 and she's like, flip. And I'll close the book and I'm frustrated and I can't do it. I'm a painfully slow reader, but someone like her, that's how she does it, right? And the great thing about reading more and more books, get into it. I force myself to read more and more books as I'm going because it's a great source of information. It's a great source of, typically in any book, there are 2 or 3 or 4 points in it that I like. I think about this about any education. Most seminars I've ever been to, I spend in a seminar all day and there are really 2 or 3 great points in that seminar, but it's worth sitting there all day to get to those 2 or 3 great points. And it gives me quotes and stories, right? I find stories in everything that I watch, even movies that I watch, right? I get great insight. Sometimes movies, even horrible movies, but a lot of times in good movies, there's a particular phrase that I find very insightful, and I lose them. One of the great ones I think about all the time is the original Men in Black movie, right? Will Smith and that kind of stuff. There's a part where Will Smith is sitting on a park bench, and he had literally just learned that human beings are not alone on this planet, right? And the other character, Kay, walks up to him and he says, 1,000 years ago, we knew that the world was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, we knew that the world was flat. And 10 minutes ago, you knew that human beings were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow. Now, I find that very insightful about education in general. We have a tendency to think about things as facts. What we know is true. I get why we think that, but there's nothing really that applies to. We don't know what we're constantly learning, and we may learn something today, tomorrow, that changes our entire perspective on that subject, right? Imagine what you'll know tomorrow if you keep your mind open and that kind of stuff. And that is one of the keys to credibility is Every good teacher, every good educator, every good show knows that they have to keep an open mind. They have to keep learning. They have to keep adding to their show. They keep adding to their education, that kind of stuff. Be a student is a great trait to creating great credibility, and again, to creating great content. It is okay. Think about the interview experts out there. Even experts in a subject can be great interviewers because they can create an environment where they're a student too. Where even if they know everything that you know, doesn't mean I have to say it right then, right? You can still be a student of information and be an expert in that information. Actually, every expert that I know that's a great expert is a great student of that subject, right? And they admit that it's a constantly changing environment, that kind of stuff, right? That's why blogs and articles can be a great source of great content, right? Again, remember, this whole video, I know it's super long and I'm sorry about that, but content is that important. People will sit through almost anything if it's about great content from a great presenter, a great person that has great credibility. I sat in a course, poor guy, and I love him to death. There's an agent in Dallas that is amazing at his client referral program. This guy is not a people person. He's just not, but he knew that he wasn't a people person, so he created an entire real estate business around his customer appreciation program because he knew he wasn't a people person. He's not. It makes him uncomfortable. It doesn't know what to do, so he created this amazing customer appreciation program so that he doesn't have to be great with people. He has now offset his thing. Now, that's what I'm talking about. That's great content, right? He's figured out a way to give his audience what they needed to continue to do business with him. Anyway, I've talked for way too long on this subject, but it is that important. Get to the next video. Start creating great content. Make your list. The next video, we're going to talk about the second most important thing, right after the first important thing, but the second most important thing. Don't miss it. We'll get to the next one, all right? Get started. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one.